What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Today, we're going to be flying the PMDG 737 from Kansas City to San Diego. We're going to be flying a real flight. It's Southwest 762. We will not be flying with VATSIM today. Unfortunately, there aren't any controllers on today. We are flying real weather. As you can see, there's a rainbow behind us, which I thought was pretty cool. I've never seen a rainbow in this game. There is some rain clouds out there. It looks like it is going to be a little bit stormy out there. Some rain passing through the area. Some downspouts you'll be able to see. But yeah, I haven't done anything in the plane. We'll go ahead and jump inside the plane and start our pre-flight checklist. By the way, this will be the third video that I'm doing with the RTX 4080 and the i9 12900K. So hopefully the better frame rate will create a better viewing experience for you guys. So we'll go ahead and start our pre-flight check. First thing we got to do is make sure our parking brake is set, which it is. We'll go to the overhead panel. We'll get our battery switch turned on. Get our electric hydraulic pumps on, and we'll get established on our ground power. We'll make sure our landing gear lever is landing gear lever is down. APU engine fire warning tests, we'll do those. Put that to the left, make sure these light up. We get a warning up here, and we'll go ahead and flick it to the right. And all three light up. We'll extinguish the alarm there. Go ahead and press that. There we go. And we'll check that these lights are working here. And they are working. We'll go back to the overhead panel here. We'll get our wing lights turned on. And our engine bleeds are already on. We'll get our IRSs set to nav. Yaw damper will stay off for now. Emergency exit. No smoking and seatbelt signs can come on. We'll come back down here. Flap lever is forward. Speed brake lever is down. Galley switch is on right here. Galley switch. Window heats can come on. Probe heats will stay off for now, and we will get our FMC programmed. So we'll go ahead and jump down to our FMC, and we'll start out by going to FS Actions Payload. Let's grab our zero fuel weight today, which is 104.1. 4.1. We'll drop that in there. We'll go return. We'll get our fuel put in. Our block fuel today is looking like 21,743. 21,743. We'll drop that in there. We'll hit return. We'll go back to menu. FMC. Position in it is going to be KMCI. Is going to be our reference airport. I'm not sure what gate we're at. We'll go to the next page. We'll grab GPS left. Head back. Drop it in there. Head over to route. Our origin is going to be KMCI. Destination is going to be KSAN. We'll drop it in there, and it's going to be Southwest 762. We'll drop that in there. We'll go ahead and head over to the next page, and we'll start putting our route in. Looks like we're doing a lot of directs. Actually, we're not doing a lot of directs, but 1, 2, 3. We're doing a departure and an arrival. And then we have 3 waypoints, or I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 waypoints in between. So it's going to be SLN. That's going to be our first waypoint. We're going to go to KD45W. KD45W. And then we'll go direct to FLG. We'll do this one. And then PKE. And we're going to drop it in there. And that's actually going to be our flight plan. We'll go to activate, execute, and we'll head over to departure and arrival. We're going to be departing runway 1 right, the Wildcat 5. So 1 right, next page, Wildcat 5. And it's going to be the SLN transition. We'll go ahead and execute that. We'll head over to departure and arrival, and we'll do arrival. Arrival information is going to be runway 27. Do we have an ILS 27? I don't think we do, right? We just have a RNAV. We'll do this one. And it's going to be the lucky one and the PKE transition right here. There we go. We'll go ahead and execute that. We'll head over to legs. That's going to be our flight plan. Let's take a look at our plan mode and step through these. Not really sure why we're getting that issue. Oh, because we're departing and then... Let me see. Let me zoom in here. Oh, that's zooming out. Zoom in. Yeah, okay. So we're probably going to do a departure and then a direct to this one. I'm not really sure why that's showing up like that. Let's see. We'll take a look at our departure chart too, because that's going to be a sharp turn. I don't even think we're going to be able to do that. I'm just going to move this up here, and we'll go ahead and execute that. That will probably be our departure. That's probably what ATC would do for us. They wouldn't have us fly directly to that waypoint. That was a little abrupt. I could be wrong, but I don't think they would. But we'll go ahead and step through this. We'll put this back into plan mode. Let's make sure we don't have any discontinuities. I also want to zoom this out a little bit. Pretty straightforward flight. Looks good. And then we will do a... it doesn't say vector, it has discontinuity, so we'll put that in here. That'll connect it. We'll intercept our localizer there, and that looks good to me. We'll set this back to map mode, and while we're here, let's grab our weather information. So if I go to KMCI, I can go to weather, and here's the MEDAR, and it's 2991 is going to be our altimeter here. So let's go ahead and set that. We just got to move it back one number. There we go. And we'll jump back down here. We're going to head over to init ref, and we're going to put all our information in here. 104.1 was our zero fuel weight, so we'll put that in here. Reserves, we did 0.5. We did 500 pounds. Cost index is going to be 3.2. Drop that in here. Cruise winds at flight level, I think we filed for 380. I don't know why this says a 397. 380 is going to be our cruise winds. No, not our cruise winds, our altitude. Actually, maybe I need to do that. I think it's 380 slash. No, I'm not sure how to do that. Let's get that cruise wind real quick, and then we'll execute this. Let's see, at 380, we're looking at 266.062. 266/062. We'll drop that in there. Trip, cruise, altitude. We'll go ahead and execute that. We'll head over to M1. We're going to do takeoff configuration 1. We'll head over to takeoff. We're going to do flaps 5. That'll give us our trim, which is 6.12. Let's go ahead and get that put in now. So 6.1 basically. So go ahead and scroll this down to 6.1, which is going to be right after this next notch. Pretty much right after it. Yep, we'll do right about there. That should be about right. And then let's head over to the next page. Our runway winds are looking like 280 at 5 knots. So we'll go 280 at 5. We'll put that in here. Now we'll go back. We'll get our V1, VR, and V2. 132 is going to be our V2. So we can put that in up here. 132. Our altitude is going to be 380. So we'll get that set to 380. We'll go overhead here. We'll get this set to 380 as well. There we are. And let's pull up our chart and take a look at our airport altitude that I don't have. So we'll go to charts, go to taxi, airport info. Here's where we are. And we're going to be departing this runway here. So we're probably going to taxi Delta to Charlie at Charlie 7 to Foxtrot, take Foxtrot down to Echo 7. But our airport altitude is 1,027 feet. So we will put that up to 1,050. There we go, 1,050. We'll get that set right. Let's jump back down here. I think we did everything we need to down here. I think we're pretty much good to go as far as that goes. We'll do our arrival information once we're a little bit closer to the arrival, or once we do our descent. 011 on the heading for runway 1 right. So let's set that 011. There we go. We have our speed set. We have our heading set. We have our altitude set. I think we are ready to start our before start checks. So FMC is programmed. Flight directors 1 and 2. 1 and 2 can come on. Auto throttle switch off. Mach indicator set. Heading selector set. Altitude selector set. Autopilot disengage bar is up. Thrust levers are idle. Stabilizer trim is set. Auto brakes is set to RTO. And we can start our APU. So I can click this down into the start mode. We'll wait for that to start. Then we'll switch our APU bleed on. We'll go onto our APU generators. While we're waiting for that, we'll jump down here, get our TCAS set to standby, and we'll go ahead and run a test on that. We'll also run a test on these up here. Make sure we have audible alerts. There we are.
TCAS test pass.
There we are. TCAS test is pass. It looks like we are going to be using all 3 fuel tanks today. And I did not switch this to the newer system, so we have the all these lights instead of having just 2. We have the older lights, which is annoying, but what are you going to do? I forgot to do that. We'll go ahead and flick our APU bleed on. Looks like our APU is about to stabilize. You'll see this blue light pop on, and we'll go on to our APU, get our APU generators on, and move on to our before pushback checks. So there it is. Go ahead and go on APU 1, APU 2, and we are now on there. So before pushback checks, fuel pumps can come on. We'll get all of those on. APU generator switches on. Seatbelt signs are confirmed. Flight deck doors and windows are locked. Anti-collision lights can come on, and ground equipment can be disconnected. So let's head over to menu, FS actions, ground services. We'll go ahead and remove the wheel chocks. That will also remove the GPU. All right. After start checks, so we haven't started yet. We're going to push back tail left, or I guess not necessarily tail left, but that's weird. A little bit of a glitch on that texture there. We're going to be taking this taxiway right here, or this inner one actually, and we won't be able to get on there. We'll get on there. So we're going to be pushing straight back, and we'll end up making a right. We'll probably push back to this taxi line here. So we can release our parking brake. We can call for our tug. We can set this to the right ignition, and we can get the right engine started. We'll set this to engine. We'll keep an eye on our N2. We're looking for 20 to 21, and then we'll feed it some fuel. Is this guy moving? No? What's he doing? Is he moving now? Hopefully he's coming to me, and I didn't just cancel him. I hope he's coming to me. I'm not really sure what this guy's doing, but I should be getting pushed back here. Oh. Is he going to turn, or is he just going to sit there? There we go. Okay. Now he's coming to us. So as you can see, we have our engine pretty much up. Little delay there on the pushback, but that's okay. We're waiting for this to click off, and then we'll get our left engine going, and we will do our after start checks. There it goes. We'll go ahead and get our left engine going. Again, we're looking for 20, 21, 22 on our N2. $18, $19, $20, $21. We'll go ahead and give it fuel. How do I get it? There we go. That's unfortunate about that texture, but that window, or that rainbow, is pretty awesome. I do like that. All right, we'll jump back up front. We're gonna keep pushing back here. This should flick off here in a second, in which case we will complete our after start checks. Gotta keep an eye on our pushback too. We're getting back to that line. We're almost ready to stop our pushback. That did click off. So engine generator switches 1 and 2. We can go on 1 and 2. We're now on our engine gens. Engine or APU bleed can come off. APU can come off, not go to start. We can go ahead and stop our pushback. And we'll put our brake on here. And we'll finish our checks. APU bleed is off. APU is off. Probe heats can come on. Yaw damper can come on. Master caution, system recall. We're good over here. We're good over there. We'll jump back up here. Isolation or packs can go to auto. Isolation valve can go to auto. And transponder we're not using today, but we'll simulate as if we are. We'll put it into TARA. And this is where we would obtain our taxi clearance. So for our taxi, we need to get our taxi lights on, our runway turnoff lights on. Our flaps can be set to 5. There we go. They're set to 5. And we can start our taxi. We'll go ahead and release our parking brake. We'll give ourselves some thrust here, and we'll give ourselves right rudder. Try and get this turned around here. And we're going to head down to runway 1 right. We're going to jump on this this taxiway right in front of us pretty much. Maybe we can make it off to this right one, but I don't think it would make sense. Yeah, we'll go to the left here, and then we'll jump on that. I guess it doesn't matter. We'll just go to the right here. Anyway, if you guys are enjoying this, be sure to hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. If you want me to fly somewhere, let me know. This flight is a requested video, so I finally got around to doing it. It's a little bit longer of a flight, which is why it took a little while for me to get to it. It's like 3.5 hour air time. So, sorry for the delay. But this is the taxiway we want to be on. We're going to follow this all the way down. Before we cross the runway, we're going to make a right on... I guess we'll make a right on Echo instead of Foxtrot. So we're going to follow this down. We can go ahead and give ourselves a little bit more thrust. And I'd say we'll be in the air, off the ground, within the next 5 minutes. So long as we can get a nice southwest taxi in. Meaning we go really quick. All is good. All is looking good here. There's the rainbow over the airport. Airport looks absolutely awesome. I do have the scenery for here. I think I'm drifting off that line. No, I'm not. I always drift off that center line when I look out the window. All right, so we're going to make this second right. We're going to cross runway 27. Right here is where we're going to turn. We'll start slowing down so we can make that turn safely. There we are. There we go. We'll go ahead and cross here. We overturn that just a little bit. And we're going to take this down to the end, which is going to be runway 1 right. And then we'll do our before takeoff checks. And we will get this in the air. Almost there. I wonder if we're going to run into any rain up there. Look at that. Them storms. Lots of rain going on out there. I am using live weather, like I said. I am doing the flight a little bit later in the night, so I set the time back a little bit so that it wasn't a night flight. I'm sure you guys want to see the time lapse in the daytime, so since it is a longer flight. But we are coming up on our entrance to the runway. On our left turn here. So we're going to pull right out onto the runway, and we'll do our before takeoff checks on the runway. As if we're like lining up and getting ready. These need to go on, and strobes need to go on. There we go. We'll do that. Auto throttle needs to be armed. We'll do it now. Auto throttle armed. Engine start switches need to go to continuous. Do that. Hold on, I can't do both here. I need to just pull out onto the runway, and then we'll do the rest of it. All right, there we are. We are out on the runway. Before takeoff checks, on the auto throttle, sheesh, armed. Engine start switches set to continuous. Master caution system recall. Transponder set. Landing lights are on. Strobe lights are on. We are good to go. We're going to go ahead and press our toga button. We'll keep it centered on the line best we can. We're going to take off right into this rainbow here. We're going to keep the nose down. Listen for our V speeds. Kicking in some right rudder.
80 knots. V1. Rotate.
All right, rotating.
Positive rate of climb.
And we'll go ahead and gear up. Let's jump back up front here. We'll keep the nose down. Flaps can come in to 1. And flaps can just about come all the way in. There we go. Flaps all the way in. We'll go LNAV, VNAV. We'll go ahead and flick on our autopilot. Pick that back on. Flick this down. And our after takeoff checks. Let's take a look out the window real quick. There's the airport that we just departed out of. I believe that's the airport we just departed out of. I don't think there's more than one airport over here. We'll do our after takeoff checks in just a second. Our landing gear's up. Our flaps are in. We have to turn our taxi light switches off. Autopilot's on. Turn our auto brakes off. I just wanted to get a nice view over here. So auto brakes can come off. Autopilot is on. Taxi light switches can come off as well. There we go. That is our after takeoff checks. Looks like we are climbing. We're doing well. We're about to be right on our waypoint. There's the Kansas City airport just off our wing there. Flying through a little downspout of rain. That's what it looks like. I don't think we needed de-icing. I think we're okay. Yeah, we should be fine. Climbing up to 6,500. Great takeoff. No issues. Them engines are screaming. I love the way these engines sound. Again, if you guys aren't subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. I can see a city, like a skyline kind of, just off over here. Alright, we'll go ahead and jump back up front. We'll do our climb checks. Landing lights, we'll leave those on for a minute. Engine start switches can go back to the off position. Landing lights are going to stay on for now. Seatbelt signs, we can go ahead and flick off our seatbelt requirement. Let people know they can roam around and use the restroom or whatever they need to do. Climbing up to 10,000 feet here. We'll go ahead and get our landing lights off as we approach 10,000. There we are. Landing lights are off. And 10,000. There we are. We're going to pitch down so we can get our speed up. And I'll stay with you guys again. Oh, look at that downspout of rain right there. Until we are at 18,000, which is the transition altitude here in the United States. And then we'll jump in the front window and we'll start the time lapse, which is going to be an interesting time lapse because it's going to be a long one. So I'm flying across half of the United States pretty much. So you guys will get a pretty cool time lapse out of that. Assuming I don't mess up the flight in the middle of it somehow. I do have to pay attention to the fuel because we're going to have to flick that center tank off relatively soon. Otherwise, the other two wings are just going to be pumping fuel constantly. I guess to balance it or, you know, feed it to wherever. So we just turn those off. Looks like we did hit our speed, so we pitched back up to start climbing again. Go into another wing view there. All flat. Probably lots of farms, lots of land, lots of open areas. I feel like there's a little bit of, I don't want to say it's turbulence, but, you know, there's a little something going on with the wing flex there. Maybe some updrafts or something from the weather. I'm not really sure. But one other thing we could do that I didn't do is we can go ahead and put our fixes in. So that's going to be KSAN. Go ahead and drop that in there. We'll do /5 and we'll do /10 for 10 miles. We'll drop that in there. We'll head back over to legs. And there we go. Coming up on 15,000 feet. And everything is going smooth. We don't have any issues, no alerts, no alarms, no bells and whistles going off. Everything looks right. I don't think there's anything I forgot. Let's hope there isn't anything I forgot. Sometimes there's things that I forget, but I think we're okay this time. What a peaceful flight. I thought about uploading videos where I stay in a wing view for a lot of it, you know, and just not doing a time lapse, just letting it play out for the whole 3.5 hours. Because I feel like this is something that I could totally fall asleep to, especially if it was a night flight. I could definitely fall asleep to it. Maybe even do flights with no narration, just game sounds. But if you guys want me to stop talking, let me know and I'll do something like that. We'll go ahead and set this into standard mode. And with that being said, we'll keep an eye on our fuel. We're going to jump in the front window. We'll start our time lapse here, and I will see you guys when we're closer to our descent. I hope you enjoy the flight. Alright guys, welcome back. We have started our descent into San Diego. We're at we just crossed 26,000 feet down to 25,700. Flight went pretty well. It was a really long flight. Weather was good. Not a lot of clouds, not a lot of storms, very little turbulence, maybe a little bit of bounciness, but not too much, nothing too crazy. But yeah, we are on our first leg of our arrival, I guess. I'll show you where we are. I guess not first leg, but this is where we are. This is where the airport is. So we are on our arrival. So we do need to go to our approach. We're looking at local runway 27, and we need to put some of this information in, such as our localizer, our final approach course, and of course our landing barometer. So we'll get that stuff put in now. Let me move this back over to the other screen. Also, I want to grab our altimeter, which I believe is 3004. Let's jump down. Well, let's see. Descent checks, seatbelt signs. We'll go ahead and put those back on. Let's do that. Seatbelt signs. We'll get those on. Air conditioning and pressures. Everything looks good as far as I can tell. Transition altitude we'll do here in a second. Engine start switches, we'll switch them back over to continuous. And FMC, we're going to go ahead and set for arrival. So we're going to do a flaps 30, 124 knots. It's going to be 129. Would be our landing speed with +5 if there's too much wind or whatever. So that's going to be our landing. We'll set this back here. We'll jump back out of here. We are at 22,000. We got a little bit more to go before we need to put our transition altimeter. So before we have to do our altimeter. Also, I want to set our altitude down to 2,000. No, you know what? We're going to do 3,000. Because we are going to intercept the ILS hopefully around 3,000 feet. If not before. We may intercept it before that. But other than that, everything's looking good. Like I said, the flight was pretty good. Not a lot of issues. Not any incidents or anything. We did get that fuel tank turned off like we were supposed to. And it looks like that tank is completely empty. We still have plenty of fuel. But, yeah. Coming in at 21,000 feet. The views were absolutely nice. I'm actually kind of glad there weren't clouds. I got to see a lot of the ground. It was really cool flying through the different biomes. You know, like desert, and then a lot of green, and then a lot of flat, and then mountains. What's below us now looks really cool. Had a lot of fun on that flight. Very good recommendation. Let's go ahead and zoom this out. We'll see about how far we are. So we're about, what are we at, 80 miles or so from the airport. So not too bad. We should be on the ground, I'd say, the next 15 minutes. There will be timestamps if you guys want to jump around to, you know, specifically what you want to see. But look at that out there. Terrain looks freaking awesome. Almost looks like Mars. Well, not out there, but immediately below us. Really cool. All right, we'll jump back over here. We're coming up on our transition altitude, so we'll go ahead and put that in now. 3004 on the altimeter. And there we are. We got that put in. A little bit of correction on our glide slope, but for the most part, we stayed right on it. You can also verify that over here, seeing that we're only 100 feet above it. Catching up to that pretty good. Our speeds are good. Descent is stable. Engines look good. Everything over here looks good. We don't have any alerts. We don't have to slow down or anything like that. No drag required. Looks like we're doing just fine. Looks like there are some clouds out there that we may be flying into. So that'll be interesting. Maybe some storm clouds. Looks like there's some downspouts of rain in some of these areas. So we will be flying into that. I don't think there's much going on in our right side. Let's take a look. Just so I can move over here. No, not a whole lot. Just some clouds out there along the coast. Very mountainous. Looks really cool. Absolutely beautiful terrain. Let's jump back over to the other side here. Not a whole lot to see out of here either. Maybe some little towns, but not a whole lot. But yeah, we might actually be flying directly into that. We're going to be flying up at our next waypoint. We're going to be going a little bit right. So we're going to be dealing with that to some degree. Let me see if I can fix this on my screen over here. Oh, okay. So we need to put in our localizer, which is going to be 110.9, which is almost at 110.9. We'll put that in there. And we'll do the same thing over here, 110.9. Go and flip that over. And our final approach course is going to be 275. So we'll put that on this side as well. There we go. And our landing barometer is looking like 680. So let's go ahead and get that put in as well. I almost forgot to do this. There we go. 680 as indicated right there. We'll zoom this back out. Looks like we're going to start that right turn at about 5.4 miles. Very interesting weather out there that we're going to be flying into. It's funny that like there's nothing here and then we're literally going to turn right into that. I don't even know if we're going to see the runway. This might be like a, you know, low visibility all the way down to minimums, but we'll see. We will see. Straight in landing for runway 27 is 680. We can go ahead and flick on our terrain right here, since we do have some terrain. Lots of terrain out here. We'll see if we get any of that painted in or not. We can see any of it from the height that we're at. There it goes. You can see it painting in now. We'll just leave that on for now. There's that right turn I was talking about. And we're at 13,000 feet, 13,800 feet. We do our approach checks. We can go ahead and do auto brakes to medium. Master caution, system recall. We're good. Get to do landing lights at 10,000. Speed brake, we can go ahead and arm that now. We'll use that as needed, but we just go ahead and arm that. Flaps, landing gear, and taxi light switch is all we have left, other than the landing lights. We'll hold off on the landing lights till we get a little bit lower. There's another wing view. We should probably take a look at the airport chart to see which side we're going to be getting off of. Oh, okay. So obviously we're going to be getting off on. Wait, is this? Where? What is this? Is this San Diego? What did I say? 27, or have I been saying 7? Yeah, runway 27. I feel like I've been saying the wrong runway. Runway 27. Okay, no, never mind. I don't know. Either way, we're getting off on the left side. That is where all our terminals are going to be. I didn't realize, I forgot that this airport was, it had one runway. I knew that, I just forgot. So we'll go ahead and move this back over to our other screen here. And here we are flying into this weather, which is going to be pretty cool. I love the haze between the mountains here. I love that that is simulated in this. I think that looks absolutely awesome. Really cool visual. But we're coming up on another waypoint here in about 3.5 miles, and then, or nautical miles, and then we're gonna go to the next one. That's when we're gonna start our right. It shouldn't be too far from now that we should start getting our, put all our landing lights on, our localizer to register. A little bit further to go, but not too far. What a beautiful approach. Look at that. Those clouds look awesome, and I love the weather system in this. I think they did an awesome job in the weather system. I say it in so many videos, but I just can't get enough of it. Like they did so great on it. Looks like we have 11 knot crosswind. Looks like we just crossed over that waypoint, so we're going to start a right turn. We're also going to start this slowing down, so you can see the plane is pitching up to level out to get our speeds down before we start. We'll go ahead and give it some assistance there because we don't want to get too high above this this V path. So we'll leave that on for now. There we are, down to our speeds. We should start pitching down. We're a little bit above our path by about 420 feet, but we should be able to catch up to that pretty easily. That's what we're using the speed brakes for. And there we go. We'll just hold the speed brakes for now just to get that, you can see it on the wing there. Just to get back on that glide path. And there we are, coming up on it now. There's that right turn. All right, we'll go ahead and release our speed brakes. We'll go ahead and arm them again. And we just have to do flaps, landing gear, and taxi lights. So you can see, just clipping in on the corner of our screen here, we have that 10-mile marker coming in. So that dotted line is the 10-mile radius from the runway, from the airport. Flying into some dense clouds here. And we'll jump back up front. There we are. Let's take a look out of the right window here. Oh, much flatter over here. Alright, so we're looking for our localizer to pop up on the bottom here. We're going to look for that diamond. I don't think we'll have to... Yeah, we don't have to do any direct twos. We'll be fine. We're just looking for that diamond. Once we capture that, we'll be in a good place. Beautiful. These mountains look awesome. Like I said, I love that the clouds are like below them and they're poking out above them. I think that looks so cool. All right, there is our diamond. So we can go ahead and arm our localizer. We'll wait for a positive capture on that. Shortly after this turn, we'll probably get it. Then we'll keep an eye out for our glide slope one. We're not going to slow down quite yet. We'll wait till we finish this next turn and capture the glide slope. Then we'll start slowing ourselves down. Should be easy to slow down. This plane is pretty quick to slow down, believe it or not. All right, there's our turn there. Man, that mountain is right there, isn't it? And we are following our constraints. We should be just fine. We're well above that. And we'll probably intercept up here. So once we're over this mountain that we're about to go over now, once we're over that one, I will start the I'll start adding in some flaps and getting us slowed down. But I don't want to do it just yet. Wait just a little bit longer. Also help slow us down now that our speeds need to come down. Alright, so we'll go ahead and go flaps. We'll go 3 notches of flaps, which is 5 degrees. We can go 1 more notch of flaps before we need to drop our landing gear, so we got that in our pocket to help us slow down if we need to. We are continuing to descend pretty healthy. We're going to hold at 3,000. I don't know why our speeds are slowing down so much, so I'm actually going to speed intervene that. We're going to hold it at about 180. I don't want to go slower than that. At least not yet. Or I guess 170. There we go. Go 170. All right, we should be capturing that pretty soon. We're going to go ahead and get our landing lights, our runway turn-off lights on, and make sure our speed brake, yep, that's armed. So we just need to drop our gear and finish our flaps. Looks like we're about to get a good capture on that. And there we are. We have a good capture on that. So we're just looking for our glide path. We're just going to have to keep following that down. So we'll go ahead and pitch that down. Whoa, I don't know why I pitched so much. We'll go ahead and drop our gear. And we are back on the glide path. Our gear is fully down. We'll go ahead and start slowing down a little bit more. We'll bring it down to about 150. We'll get our flaps extended. We're about 5 miles from the runway, so I want to make sure we are fully configured. I don't see the runway in sight yet. Yes, I do. Right there. We got the runway. All right, we're gonna hand fly this relatively soon. We're gonna get our speeds down a little bit more. 146, we'll get our flaps fully extended. No, we don't need to be speeding up like that. We can get our speeds down to about 130. We have the runway in sight right here. I haven't done a landing like this in a while, so hopefully we do this right. We're just going to keep following that glide path down. And we'll get our speeds down a little bit more. Let me look at this real quick. It was 124, so we can come down to 124. And we're going to go ahead and take control of the plane here. And I now have the plane. We want to make sure we stay above these trees and above these buildings just long enough so we can continue descending down. Looks like we're doing fine. There's a wing view. And let's go back in because this is an important point in time. All right, and we're just gonna follow this hill down basically and try and stay centered here. We're gonna keep coming down. Looks like we're a little bit high. We can bring it down a little bit sharper. There we are. That should be good there. We got 1 red on the PAPI lights. And we have 2. We're back on our glide path. And we'll go ahead and level it out just a little bit.
50.
We should be good here. Let's hope we touch down nice and smooth. Touching down a little bit late.
10.
And flare. And we are down. I don't know why it's not turning. There we go. I cannot turn it. There we go. Did not want to turn for me there. All right, and we are down. Not too bad. First time I ever did that that landing there. And my rudder pedals decided to just stop working, so I'll just have to use the joystick here, which is fine. We're gonna pull up here. The brakes are gonna be so abrupt without the rudder pedals. I don't know why that just stopped working, but we'll go ahead and stop right here. Can we get our brake on without our rudder pedal? There we go. We can. Okay. Very good. All right. After landing checks, landing lights can come off. So we'll put these back. I hate these lights so much. I have to remember to fix those. Strobe lights can come off. Let's just jump up here. Strobe lights can go back to steady. Taxi lights, they can stay on. Flaps, we can move them up. Speed brake lever, I already moved. Engine start switches can go back to the off position. APU can be started. We'll go ahead and get that started. We'll get our APU bleed on. Flaps are back. Speed brake lever is forward. And APU is started. Okay. So we landed a little bit late, but that's okay. Nevertheless, we did land. There's San Diego out there. We're just going to pull up to one of these gates in front of us here. We'll go ahead and release our brakes. Let's see. No, there we go. Okay. We'll give ourselves a little bit of throttle. And we'll just taxi up to one of these gates in front of us. I think I have a scenery for here. And maybe I just forgot to reinstall it when I did my fresh install. We can also turn our terrain off. We don't need that anymore. Which is unfortunate. I wish I had that installed. We did touch down a little bit late, and I did ride the left of center, but that was because I didn't realize at the time that my rudder pedals had stopped working. I don't know why that happened. So we're going to follow this next taxi line over to the right. There we go. We'll follow this. Wow, this joystick is way more sensitive than the rudder pedals. All right, and we'll put our brakes on. See, I gotta like pump them because it's either full or nothing. So there we are. We'll go ahead and stop there. We'll get our brake turned back on. Nope, there we go. All right, we'll go to our overhead panel. We'll get our taxi lights off so we're not blinding everybody. Parking brake is on. Seatbelt signs can come off. No smoking can come off. APU generator switches can come on. And we can go ahead and do a fuel cutoff. That's going to shut our engines down. We'll get established on our ground power. Let me go ahead and go to menu, FS actions, ground services. We'll set the wheel chocks. We got the ground power. I guess we'll request it. Connecting. We'll go overhead here. We're waiting for this to light up blue. Once that lights up blue, we can go ahead and connect the ground power, get our APU off. There we go. We're now on ground power. APU bleed can come off. APU can come off. Probe heats can come off. Window heats can come off. Anti-collision lights can come off. Wing lights will keep on. Yaw damper can come off. We'll leave that on. Seatbelt signs to the off position. Engines can come off. Fuel pumps I should say. Packs can go back to, where were they? Off position, and this can go back to the open position. And that's going to be our flight for today. Welcome to San Diego. If you guys enjoyed that flight, be sure to leave a like. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next video.